everyone. Good afternoon. I'm going to continue with the tutorial on the all-in-one approach to succeeding at the piano, preparatory book A. I'm going to review pages 38 and 39. But before I begin with that, I'd like to review the idea that there are 7 levels of the all-in-one approach. There's preparatory book A, preparatory book B. Then there's 1A, there's 1B, 2A has major and minor 5-finger patterns. 2B has more major and minor 5-finger patterns plus C and G octave scales. And then there's book 2C. When the students are finished with those 7 levels of the all-in-one approach, they can either go on to other repertoire that's in the FJH pianist curriculum, or they can continue on with the method, which is a very smart thing to do for anyone who has started with you or anyone who has transferred into your studios. And then they can go to grade 3 of the 2nd edition core Succeeding at the Piano. So I just wanted to share with you how the curriculum works. So let's go ahead and take a look at page 38 and 39. Here we have the review of the drip, drop, roll, and there are several videos on this important physical gesture, which I call a touch release. This is the first touch release that students learn. And of course, touch releases are physical gestures because the body moves, but the touch release is devoted for 5 basic motions where the student thinks about how they play the key and also how they release off of the key. So this is the way for students to have beautiful articulations, great phrasing, and beautiful sound. So in the drip, drop, roll motion, we've taught the students to feel like they're dripping their fingers, they drop to the bottom of their thighs, they feel this good sense of arm weight and fluidity, and then they roll forward and off their thighs or off their keys when they're playing the piano. So taking a look at page 39, the students are learning their guide notes and they're actually reviewing them. And here we have Papa Haydn that's helping our students remember the middle C, the treble G, and the bass F. Now when the students get to the end of the piece, do you notice the little drip, drop, roll icon? And he's there to help our students remember when to use the very important touch releases. We could also have our students use a long rubber band. So when they get to the 5th interval at the end of the piece, you can go ahead and have them drop into the key. So they're dripping, then they drop, and let the rubber band drop as well. And then when they roll forward and off the keys, you can just move the rubber band forward so they get the feeling of their wrist being flexible. And the same thing can be the case for the left hand for the last note. So the last 2 notes, so you can have the students drip into the keys, make sure that you don't have the rubber band snap back at the student's wrist, and then have them drop into the keys, let your rubber band be loose, and then have them roll forward and off the keys like that. All right, so those are the guide notes. Some people ask me, what are those funny little things like this, the drawings at the bottom of some of these pages? And that means for the student to remember there are 4 little hills on each hand, right? So there are 4 metacarpal knuckles is what we want them to see for really good hand position. On page 40, students are reviewing the guide notes again. There's so much review. You can definitely have the students take a pencil and go ahead and mark where the G line is in the treble clef, and then again mark where the F line is in the bass clef. You can have them do it all the way through both lines so that students remember what notes are what. So with this lovely little piece, they can certainly use the drip, drop, roll motion. Very nice. Make sure that they play on the outside tip of the thumbnail. That's really imperative for good hand position. Look for the letter C between fingers 1 and 2 and the 4 little hills on the top of the hand. Now this is an example of a wonderful time to compose activity. That's all the way through the all-in-one approach. Here this little boy is asking our students to make up a piece using guide notes, and they can add the pedal to hear the different sounds. And the musicality girl asks, did the piece sound lively? So we're always asking our students to listen to their performances. Let's make sure that our students listen for something before they play their pieces as well as after. So I could ask, will you play this in a lively fashion or will it be sad? And the students will, of course, will say, it's going to be lively. We're in a city, right? And that way they'll be listening for that lively tempo and the lively sound. And at the end, we can back it up and ask again, do you think that you played it in a lively way? And they'll say, yes, I definitely did. On page 41, they write the names of the guide notes, middle C, treble G, middle C, bass F. Make sure that your students really do say what the staff names are as well. Parrot play is where the students see two parrots together and they love to repeat what they hear, don't they, those parrots? So why don't we have little examples of us playing something like this and then like this. You could have your student play it back, right? So you'd have to put the book here so that they don't see what you're playing. But you could give them the opening pitch, right? And then you could also have them say whether it's going up or going down. And then they can circle the one that they hear. The two little sisters that are following each other, follow the leader is what I call them. And these little sisters always represent rhythm. So parrot play always represents melodic patterns, and the little girls follow the leader are always focusing on rhythm. So again, we will tap one of these rhythms. Here's number 1. And ask the students, do you hear the first part of number 1 or the second part of number 1? 1, 2, 1, 1. Or this one, 1, 1, 2, 1. And your students will say, oh, I know which one I heard. And have them do that back and then circle the correct answer.